My name is Justin, and I have been an iPhone user for 8 years. When I first started using it, it was like, it felt really good, you know? After a while, I found like the more and more I used it, the more I felt like that feeling like really kind of went away. I was having to use it a lot more in order to get that same kind of feeling out of it. And now I just can't stop using it. I mean, I know it's bad for me. It's driven away friends, family. It's just not the same. It's just not what it promised to be. And it just kind of felt like Apple wanted me to make my life work to them instead of having a product that worked towards my life. It felt like I was on the Apple punishment plan. Every time I would download something on the new iOS system, my whole phone would just stop working as well, you know? Like all of a sudden the messaging program would stop sending messages and photos and things, which I guess was okay because who honestly uses a messaging program to send pictures and videos and stuff to their friends? Apple punished me constantly for not having the latest and best version of whatever they had. And that felt really, really terrible. I heard that there was this new emoji that came out, and it was like, there was a cheese emoji, and there was a middle finger emoji and stuff, but I never got to use that, you know, because if I updated, my phone wouldn't work anymore, so it was like, do I want the cheese emoji, or do I want a functioning phone? And so it was kind of like, Apple made it available to me, but, you know, they didn't at the same time, and then it was like, all it would come up with is that little square box that has the question mark in it, and it was like, that's not a good emoji at all, and I just really wanted to use the cheese emoji, you know, and I'm sorry, can we stop for a minute? Can we turn off the camera, please? Just stop. It's time to stop, and I need a change, and I'm ready to change.
All right, no, for real, we're gonna sit down and talk about some of the differences in iOS and Android. And now that you've been using it for about a week or so, let's start off with syncing up with the computer, iOS versus Android.
So the big thing is that I'm using Google to sync up my stuff on my phone, which you don't have to on an Android phone, which is really cool. There's a lot of different options out there, which is really neat. You can do whatever really suits your sync style, I guess.
Yeah, I use Nextcloud, and
Okay.
I just set up my own server, and that's what we'll teach you guys how to do in a future video. Show you guys how I sync up my digital life, but you're untethered.
Yeah.
As it were.
But I mean, with Apple, you have to go through Apple. You have to have other Apple products to sync up with. You have to have an Apple ID. I mean, granted, you can also go through Google on Apple products and stuff too. But again, it feels more like they're like, oh, but only sync up with our stuff, guys, kind of deal.
So
which, yeah.
if you have a lot of money and you want to buy 50 different Apple computers and have them all over the house,
Yeah.
it may be nice and easy that way. But I can really show you guys how to take control of your freaking digital life. And I'm just flailing this around like this makes me serious.
Yeah.
I'll make some videos about that, how to sync up your digital life, coming up soon in the future. Right now, we're going to get back to the topic at hand. This is a sort of a, not unlocked, but it's not so much of a walled garden anymore.
You know, the iOS system is very like, this is all you can do, and there's no outside the box thinking, even though they like to say they think outside the box. But there's no like. even you're only stuck in the parameters of the iOS system. With Android phone, you have a computer in your pocket instead of just having this, you know, little pre-run program. Basically, it almost feels like. So you have a lot more available to you in terms of like accessibility and how you like want to make the phone cater to your needs instead of having to cater to the phone.
First off, widgets. Because that was not a thing for you until...
It was not a thing for me, and now it is. I got all kinds of widgets on this phone already loaded up, which are awesome.
So if you're someone with Apple and you don't know what a widget is like, normally you just have a screen full of just icons that you have to touch, and if you want to get to your clock or you want to see the weather or something like that, you have to touch the damn app and open it up. Right now you've just got the weather right there. You've got...
I've got a clock, I've got weather, I've got Google all set up for me. I don't have to open a secondary program in order to get at it. I can just... It's on my screen, it exists. I even have my calendar right here just waiting for me without anything to look up. I also have my lightsaber battery app that shows with the lightsaber, which is important. But it's nice because it doesn't feel like I don't have to be like, to manage everything.
Yeah, but look,
I can just have
it's not as... Now it's tacky. You've got that tacky lightsaber on there, and Apple doesn't want that tacky lightsaber on their device. They want little icons that are all uniform in size and perfect. Look, this is tacky.
It's
Stop.
a little tacky, I guess. But it's
Get-
Darth Vader's
get
lightsaber.
iOS.
It looks good. You can choose your own lightsaber on it too.
Um,
That's the widget.
Yes, widgets. And the other thing that Apple really doesn't do is launchers. So what a launcher is like when you open up iOS, you get your desktop environment or your Palm top environment. What do you call that?
I guess it would be a palm top. Yeah.
I don't know, just your operating system environment, like where the icons go, the layout, how things function, that sort of thing. With Android, you can change that up. You can get custom launchers. There's plenty of different apps out there. Some of them are, they charge you a little bit for. And almost every different phone that you buy will have its own launcher. Like the Samsung there, it's got a launcher that does some pretty cool things, like the messaging you were telling me about. How's that work?
Yeah, the messaging program actually just pops up over apps that I have open, so I don't have to leave out of an app that I'm in to
type a
message
quick
everyone. I just
reply.
pop and do and then keep going with what I'm going,
Right.
which is really great.
One thing that I think a lot of people who use iOS kind of worry about, they look at all the different Android phones and their mind explodes with too many options, and there's too many launchers, and every time they pick up one of the phones, it feels different.
I felt that way too, and I definitely had to get over some like muscle memory feels and stuff like
Yeah.
that for opening things, but it just felt better after
So
a while of using it.
as far as the app ecosystem goes, a lot of people think that iOS is the biggest, but now Android is with around 2.2 million apps
Yeah, they've
versus 2 million.
surpassed. Yeah. So
I mean, it's not as curated or whatever as the App Store.
no, and
for,
there's still some
iOS, but
Apple-specific apps that are like exclusive to the iOS.
yeah, some people, a lot of people rely on those, and that's like something that's locking them into the ecosystem. So,
Mm-hmm.
app developers, make it for everything, please. That's always nice. We all like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, after this, stay tuned for a video on just how I run my digital life. That could be fun. And then we want to say thanks to Ghost Tech. So let's
Yep.
give them a shout out because they were the ones who provided us with this phone.
Yeah,
That has now moved you away.
All thanks to
from,
Ghost Tech for my transformation here. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. The case that I'm using, and this all came from Ghost Tech wanting to send us a waterproof case to try out. So this is the Ghost Tech Atomic 2.0 waterproof case. It's a full phone covering case. The neat thing about this one, it's an aluminum based case. It's got built-in shock absorbing into it, so it's not like right up against your phone. So if you drop it and stuff, it's gonna maintain and not shatter everywhere, which is really cool. It comes in a bunch of different colors that are all very, very sleek and sexy. You can put this up to like a meter of water for 10 minutes, and there's no issue whatsoever there. We got some water right here. We're just gonna dunk this in for the rest of the
Way to go.
very resistant. This is super great if you live in the Pacific Northwest like we do, and it rains for half the year. You can just pull your phone out in the middle of the rain without having to worry about stuff. And so the only downside of this is like any full phone covering case. It's going to affect the sound quality that you get in your phone calls a little bit. You're going to have some like kazoo talking from people and things like that. The other thing is that it does affect the camera a little bit because it has to go through a whole nother layer.
Yeah,
in
you
order
put
to-
anything you put in front of your camera is going to affect that.
Yep.
So.
And it affects the microphone a little bit on the pickup for it as well because it's got plastic.
I'd probably recommend keeping this with you, but not always on your phone. Like if you're going to go hiking or something like that, or you're going to go camping, or if you're going to go run around, I don't know,
For
whatever.
10 minutes, less than a meter of water at all times.
You're one of those people who has to have your phone at all times. You want to do Pokemon in the pool.
Find
Pokemon?
water Pokemon for realsies. Yeah. Why doesn't it want to load up? That's okay.
So
I
anyway.
didn't play Pokemon Go in front of you guys anyway.
That's enough of a
secret
plug
shame.
for them, but it is kind of a
Yeah.
cool device. So thanks, Ghost Tech, for this.
Yeah.
And let us know what you guys thought in the comments. And let us know what videos you'd like to see next. Security back and forth between iOS and Android, or possibly the organizing your digital life with your own server and all that stuff. Let us know.
Cool.
Yeah. See you guys in the comments.
Bye.
Check out all the shirts. They're awesome.